Working with Excel templates. Have you ever taken a file because you wanted to create a copy of it for the next year, chosen Save As, and then called it the next year, in this case expenses, had to delete data and then continue on? This little example might not be showing you too terribly much work, but there are large files out there where it would take a number of time, quite a bit of time, to delete the data that you don't want for that next new file. I suggest to you to use templates, in that you create a template, let's say in this example, call it something like yearly expenses, so that when the new year comes up, you can take that template, use a copy of it to create a new file. And that's actually what we're going to do. I've deleted the data that we do not need to have that's present in the template. In other words, have it be the same data for every year. Because every year you're actually going to type in unique numbers for the expenses. I've retained the headings and the formulas for the totals. Once I've done that, I can go back to File, Save As, and this time, instead of Excel Workbook, I'm going to choose Excel Template. Give it a good file name, like Yearly Expenses, and make sure you pay attention to what folder you're going to place this template in. You'll note that the default folder that comes up in the Save dialog box is called Templates. You can actually choose to create your own folder, if you like, from any location instead of using the default Templates folder. There's a benefit for using either one of those, and I'm first going to show you how we can go to any location like desktop, create our own folder, and when we do that, we can find our templates from this folder afterwards. Once I've typed in my folder name, file name, and made sure the type of file is Excel template, I'll save. You'll see the file name Yearly Expenses comes up. To use this template, I must close this file first. Control W is the keyboard shortcut for close. That's Control and tapping the W key, W for window, and that will close the file. Returning back to the File tab, choosing New, I need to go to New from Existing. When I do that, you can see how Excel is sensitive enough to pick up the last location I was at when I saved a file. And in this case, it happened to be a template file. Folder, My Templates, and to remind you, I did create it under the desktop. Yearly Expenses, that's the name of the file I'm going to use to create another new file. And you'll note, before I do so, that the icon here has a yellow title bar, a tiny title bar that tells us that this is a icon for the templates. I click on it and choose Create New, and you'll see how Yearly Expenses, a 1 behind it, comes up as the title of my window. If it only said Yearly Expenses with no number 1 behind it, that would tell us that we're actually in the original file. Because we're in a copy, it shows us number 1. And we've never saved this file before, so after we plug in some data for our new year, we can certainly then save our file, and once we do that, we'll have a whole new file using this template. When I save the file by using the keyboard shortcut Control S or using the icon here for save, it's going to take me to Save As because, reminder, we've never saved this file before. So I can call it Expenses 2011 and take myself to a location on my desktop, let's say, maybe even create a new folder if I wanted to, and I'm just going to save it here on my desktop, or you can go anywhere you like. And when I save, I've used this file name already because I was playing here. I'm going to replace it, and once I do that, you can see Expenses 2011 comes up. How to use templates in Excel. Excel comes with, as a package, a number of templates you can use to your advantage. Instead of creating your own templates, perhaps use templates that come with Excel so you don't have to do some extra work. When you click on the File tab on the ribbon and choose New, you'll note Available Templates comes up in the window here. We have a lot of choices we can work with. And some of these, when you double-click, will take us further into more examples. Agendas, when I double-click, you'll see more agenda types come up. I'll double-click on this one here, and sometimes you'll have to accept the terms of use. And when I do that, a copy of the template comes up. How can we tell a copy comes up? Because there's a number 1 behind the name of the file, or a number 2, etc., depending on how many copies you have of this file. You can come in here and type in whatever you need to type, text, numbers, maybe even create formulas on specific spreadsheets, and then call it your own file name by using Control S. We've never saved this file before. Remember, we created a new file using it, using an existing template. Call it whatever you like here, and since it was a meeting notes, I can choose any location. I'll just keep it on the desktop, and when I click Save, now I've got a file that's my own using a template that comes with Excel. One more look at it. I click on File again, choose New, and then I can pick up, let's say, letters, drill down further, and I've got an email template that's going to download. And once I do that, you'll see that there's an email template that comes up, number 1 copy, and sometimes it's going to actually even tell you steps that you can work with here. So in this example, we can work with a wizard, and away we go to create the email template. That completes the topic on how you can find templates in Excel by going to the File tab on the ribbon.